Attention stations!
We're under attack! The ship is on fire! We're hit! We're under attack! Enemy torpedoes spotted! We're hit! The situation is under control. Precise aim activated.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. I know today is kind of a interesting day because we were short. There was one team shorthanded, so ended up having to replace them. So appreciate y'all for those that are watching, Mr. Mime and also Sniper Elite. So I have to mute myself as game chat or team chat has occurred, and we're playing against Scowowsb. So it's Crimson versus Scowowsb. So just a heads up.
Enemy target spotted. Precise aim activated. Nice shot! Enemy ship locked. Precise aim activated. enemy!
Okay, so that did not really go well. Unfortunately, the first match that we saw earlier was the Crimson versus Lexus, then which of course every one of us were basically like scattershotting our opponents, which in that case creates a huge risk to the other parts of the team. And that was, of course, my bad on my part, especially given that I couldn't really do much within that first 2-3 minutes. Just looking back, and of course they had the Roma, they also had the Richelieu, and Richelieu is a ship that is advantageous when it's firing from the front. Yet, especially if you keep the ship within a vertical position rather than a broadside position, given the obvious. And of course, we didn't really have a specific target to go for, hence we ended up going for almost each and every one. Roma was already at half health, and we had the Ashton Carter as the mains who flanked us from the left side and ended up going to our base. Hence, we basically lost base in almost everyone else. Similar to the second game, which was Crimson versus the Scowowsb, and the strange situation was that there's a rule where you can't, if you're in the opposing team, then you have to lock in before the enemy or the home team is able to then lock in and so forth. So with that in mind, currently we will be facing against Shipfaced, so we'll have to see how this will pan out as well.
General quarters. Enemy target spotted. Torpedoes! Colosseum activated.
So those were indeed some of the interesting plays that we got there. I think the third round, it was somewhat risky, I would say, as well. 2 BB route, 1 cruiser, and 1 DD, just like the convenient way. And fortunately, we were able to isolate the Richelieu on the one hand, and then focus on the Xinjiang, and along with the mains, and also the Roma in this case. And fortunately enough, and then we were able to isolate the Richelieu, and they were able to take down Richelieu beforehand, and then we were able to weren't able to take down the mains at the very end with at least 0 seconds, or within the 9 seconds. Yet it was still a well played match between both teams as well. And but nevertheless, so that was the Shipfaced versus the Crimson, and the next round will be Rogue One versus Crimson. Okay, so that's gonna be interesting. Okay, so I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so currently we're waiting on an invite for the last match of the day, and actually, wait a second, was this what I was thinking? Okay, so it was Shipfaced and Mephitic. So actually the row or in the BB row. And let me just go ahead and decrease the sound on there, just in case. And so what we got here is Rhino Gator in the Mephitic team as the Kansas, Gazi as the Amalfi, Need as the Lightning, and Lightning Sauce as the Roma. Whereas on the Crimson side, we have the Trapper 22 as Z23, Hammer Time as Odin, and Majestic Potato as Shapiev, and while Dave as Turpitz. So let's go ahead and first do a little bit of a quick roundabout just to see where we're at as both teams are positioning themselves. Mainly they'll be scouting out one another by utilizing their DDs in this case, just to see which position they're in and possibly to isolate one of them or at least bait one of them. And we can currently see that the first to start off is with some torpedoes being shot out, and Turpitz or Dave is currently taking quite a lot of damage from all the torpedoes to the broadside too, and he currently has 1/3 health taken away, whereas the other rest have currently still maintain their health. And Turpitz trying to at least avoid taking more damage than necessary, as he kind of stepped in a little bit too far in. And currently he's being pushed to the broadside view. With that in mind, both teams still remain in this stalemate, with Trapper releasing some of the torpedoes aiming at the Kansas or Rhino Gator, possibly trying to at least take at least a couple of damage or at least 1/3 health, but Rhino Gator was able to then 22 also getting hit quite fairly hard, and at least half of the Crimson's team is already at half health at the moment, and mainly because of the Amalfi. Normally he would play as the BB, such as Kansas or Richelieu, but given with the recent switch in some ways, and we see Ling Sauce at least being able to take down at least maybe a sliver of health from Dave, maybe from the broadside area as a Roma. And normally Roma and Kansas are the powerhouses when it comes to BBs wise. And we see both teams still remaining in the Mephitic team is able to retain a lot of their health, and we see main battery damage already done on the Ling Sauce or so. Wiped out along with the Majestic Potato at the moment. And mostly launch torpedoes at the BBs in particular, or at least create enough damage to force them out, and I think it is going to. And welcome Gladder, and also IGN Yukikazi, and Carl the Combattimento to lead at the moment. And seems like it's still within the stalemate, 492 to 492. At the same time, we see Shapiev kind of in the outskirts, maybe trying to retain his health or at least recover a bit before coming back to the cap. But Hammer Time is getting indeed hammered at the moment by Roma and Kansas at the moment. But looks like Roma is, to be honest, I think they should at least slowly retreat at this rate to at least reduce any more damage up. But he's able to use the damage control crit, but gets eliminated. Only one stands in the way, which is Hammer Time at the moment. So we could see we just saw a one-sided fight right just within 2 minutes span. Will the enemy team be able to eliminate Hammer Time? And a well-fought play between both Team Crimson and Mephitic for y'all. So Lingling Saws with 88.8k damage, Rhino Gator with the 62k damage, the Gazi with the 45k damage, and also Need with the 27k damage, whereas Hammer Time with 54.1k damage, 43.9k damage for Dave, 28.8k damage for Chapter 22, and 20.6k for Majestic Potato. So leaving with, since we have 5 rounds, actually 4 rounds total, so it will be a 1-4-3 at the moment. The other rest of the remaining rounds, which they'll be facing against Rogue One for round 5, Tiberosen for round 6, and Membrio for round 7. We're not going to be sure about the results until Colosseum, as the academic season is coming up slowly. I bought a high tier legendary ship container and I got a Shiki. Oh, congrats. How much do you end up spending? Just joking about that one. But thank you all for watching. It was an interesting situation to begin with. And I think we're probably going to see some more of the if